you could always have a safe word too. If you're like, Ashley, I don't want to answer that question, we just like don't talk about that question. We move on. So
You know what? Let's make it pineapple. I don't think that'll happen, but pineapple. Like, oh, I'm really craving some pineapple.
hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley and I am a part-time reseller based in Canada. If you enjoy reseller content, thrift hauls, interviews with other resellers, I would love for you to subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. I am really excited because today I am continuing onward with my reseller interview series. And as I'm saying this intro, I'm going to turn off my space heater. I am really excited because today I have Posh Boss Blake, aka Blake, aka lovely gentleman on the internet, here with me today. I remember seeing Blake on Instagram and on YouTube, and just kind of like saw him in the reseller community. And then when I really got to know Blake a little bit more was actually during Posh Fest last year. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to know this person, just because Blake at Posh Fest, like, I just really loved his approach. He was so honest and so candid and really told an incredible story of resilience. And I was really inspired by that. And yeah, I was like, we need to be friends. So Blake, welcome to the channel.
Ashley, hi. Hope you're doing fabulous today up in cold Canada.
How is cold New York?
Actually, funny that you say that. We just had some snow last night, 4 inches, that's like nothing. That's, every day here. But it is kind of warm. So, everything's starting to melt, but then it gets dangerous because then it'll drop to like the teens at night and get icy. And then, I go into this crazy spiral thinking my mom's going to slip and break a hip and die. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Oh my goodness. That is, yeah, it's snow. It's a whole thing. I'm really lucky. I live in a condo, so we never have to worry about shoveling.
Mhm.
And, outside the condo, they like take all the snow, they do all the ice. It's like, we're very lucky. But
Well,
I'm looking out the window at a ton of snow right now.
you also, condos, you pay for that to happen. That's like your maintenance fee.
Oh, 100%. But
Yeah.
my partner owns the condo, so the maintenance fee is all we pay, and I just get to reap the benefit of that. So it's good. I love it. So I'm so happy you're here. We're going to talk about all things reselling, all things what the heck has happened over the last year, and let's jump into it.
All right, let's dive.
So first question, probably an obvious one. I'd love to hear how you got started with reselling.
So great question. Great first question. I unknowingly had been reselling for quite some time. Like my original eBay account was created in 2004, which was when I was in ninth-ish, no, 9, 10, yeah, ninth-ish grade. And I was 13, 14. I was a little young for my age range in terms of school, but it was a time when cell phones were coming out. I can't believe I'm talking about this.
Oh, it's okay. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
It's when cell phones were a thing and like people had them, but they didn't. It was okay if you didn't. And it wasn't like I had to have the latest and greatest, but I am a tech person and I semi-blame my uncle for that because technology. He spoiled me, but I was always trying to get the latest, greatest phone. And my mom was like, I'm not buying you phones every other month because, that's a waste. And phones were not what they are today, which in my mind, I wanted such a crappy phone for nothing.
Yeah, dreams. Was it like a Nokia?
No, so we were on Verizon. We've been Verizon since 1998, if you can believe that.
I don't know what that means. We don't have Verizon in Canada, so I'm just going to take your word for it.
It's like Vodafone. I don't know if you have that. No? Okay.
All right. We have all these different Canadian companies. They're terrible, but yeah, Verizon. Gotcha. I trust. I've heard of it. I've seen the commercials. It's good.
Yeah. It's AT&T, Verizon / T-Mobile and Sprint because they've combined, but they're the worst. Anyway, my mom was like, figure it out. If you want to do it, figure it out. So I would flip my phones on eBay. And it was also a way for me to get like, shameless, a knockoff Louis Vuitton wallet at the age of 14.
Perfection. All you need is a knockoff Louis Vuitton wallet and the coolest phone. And correct. I think you're set as a 14-year-old.
I mean, I was living my dream. But it was when eBay was, thank you for your purchase. Now send me a money order. I don't know if you experienced this in Canada or if you sold back then, but you would send you'd go to the bank, you'd go to wherever, or a check, and you'd mail it to like you. Like I'd be like, Ashley, thank you for this wallet. Here's the check. And then it would be on you to send me the item. That's how eBay worked.
Wow.
I know. There wasn't, I mean, there was no credit card at the time. Like it was
No,
interesting.
that is fascinating. I love that.
Yeah.
Also, I gotta hand it to 14-year-old Blake. Like, that's a lot of steps. Like, that's
Yeah.
not a small process. Like, there's a lot of things there that needed to happen. So good for you.
Yeah. I don't know that my mom loved a 14-year-old buying things on the internet and sending a check to someone who she doesn't know.
Fair,
But
fair.
it worked out. Never had any bad issues. And then ultimately, like, as I grew older, I would just kind of flip things on the internet. Reselling as a phrase was not a thing. And then in 2015, I was still in New York City. I downloaded the Poshmark app because I had heard of it. It was newer. And I was like, okay, let me download it. I didn't like the app. I didn't like the aesthetic. It wasn't working. And I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to try. I don't need it. Whatever. And for those who are unaware, I am a part-time reseller as well. So I don't want to be full-time. So I've always had my day job, my career job. And ultimately, I re-downloaded Poshmark in 2018 because I found a pair of helmet laying jeans. For anyone that knows, those are bougie, expensive, fancy pants, literally fancy pants.
Literally, fancy pants.
And I was like, you know what? These have been sitting in my closet for 6 months. Let's sell them. I bought them for $30 at Nordstrom Rack. I think I sold them for like 80 or over 100. And I was like, oh, okay. Let me see if I can do this and make some more money. But that was also my first lesson in retail arbitrage. For those who might not know that, it's like when you go into like a regular store, not a thrift store, and you buy something in theory with the regular price tag. And I thought I could take myself to Nordstrom Rack and buy all the clearance and TJ Maxx and buy all the clearance. No, yes and no, but like
Yes.
mostly no.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's at Nordstrom Rack on the clearance rack for a reason, especially when there's like 8 of them, right? You're like,
Correct.
ooh, great deal. But you're like, ooh, does someone want this? And,
Correct.
sometimes it's on the clearance rack for a reason.
Correct. And where I had been living for the past 5 years was in Los Angeles, in the center of West Hollywood. So for me, from my perspective, when I would see all these people getting yellow tag clearance at these stores or being able to do that, that wasn't always the case. Most 99.9% was never the case for me because prices never dropped that low. We had a higher amount of people coming to the area to shop, to buy the things. And there was a lot less turnover, I felt, in the seasonality of clothing. Like you might go to your local store right now and there might be winter stuff through spring. But in LA, no. If we're on to the next, we're probably into spring, summer, getting into fall. I'm being funny, but it keeps it moving. Things change because of the pandemic, but still. And then I decided to take it serious, and I did. And I was like, okay, let me start documenting it on YouTube. And it just kind of trickled from there. I created a separate Instagram account because I was like, my friends and family are not my audience for this. And I think that's something people need to realize if they want to get into social media. But yeah, it was cool, and I like it. And I, like you mentioned, I got to speak at PoshFest in 2020 last year, which was fun. And I had gone to my first ever PoshFest in 2019, which I absolutely loved. Life, like, I guess it's cheesy, but it was like a life-changing thing in terms of the connection that I felt. And I know Leslie, a reseller's passion. Love Leslie. I got to meet her there, but like she always talks about community, and however you feel about Poshmark or sale or whatever it is, that event is like genuinely like a successful event in my eyes because you create so many connections and have so many conversations and tips, tricks, new, seasoned, like whatever it is. And I was very happy to be a part of it in 2020. Bummed that wasn't in person, but like obviously. But I do hope I can be a part of it again someday and have a bigger role.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And I would love for it to be in person. Like my PFF and we were making plans to like take a road trip to somewhere in the US in early 2020. And, obviously everything changed. But something that you said, like, I think the Poshmark and like the reselling community is so special. And, you know, shout out Leslie. Leslie, just
Love Leslie.
want to meet and hug that woman someday. Um, because like, how do you meet friends when you're an adult? Like, I
Correct.
think finding pockets of folks who share similar interests, and to your point, like your friends and family aren't your target audience for your reselling business,
Yep.
but you find these people who share similar interests, share similar values, have
Yep.
similar goals, and are also just like really cool, lovely humans that you might not get to meet otherwise. And
Right.
I think that's just something that's so special about the reselling community.
Yeah. And I think just to add on to that, the types of people you meet, like I would, I'm gonna throw out Ryan and Jack, um, the duo. I probably like would never have ever met them because one, I'm fully 10 years older than both of them, I think. And they live in a state that I would genuinely probably never go to. So like the fact that I was able to meet them and connect and we laugh, we have fun. You can meet all sorts of people, single moms, moms with 10 kids, people who work full time, people who do this as a hobby, people who pay their full bills with this. And it's just we can all relate on this one thing, but it can stem into so much more.
Mhm.
So it is lovely. I love
Oh,
that.
I love that. Are you still on eBay or do you just sell on Poshmark? What
No,
platforms are
so
you on?
I sell on virtually all of them. Whether or not I have active items on that is like it just depends on the amount of inventory I have.
Mhm.
But my first and foremost place is Poshmark. And then I would say my second place is probably Mercari. And then I do sell on Depop, Tradesy. I'll send stuff to the Real Real, Curtsy, ThreadUp. That ThreadUp is my last resort. I'm just gonna preface that. That's where things go to die, in my opinion. And if I make $1, okay,
It's fair. That's fair.
yeah,
I always love when y'all in the US talk about all the platforms that you're on and like the list just gets longer and you can see people thinking about it and you're like, am I missing one? I don't know. And yeah, ThreadUp is like, I don't
yeah.
know, the child that everyone's like, you're there, but
Do you have
no.
access to that in Canada?
So we can buy from ThreadUp. We cannot send to ThreadUp,
Gotcha.
and we can't purchase like the big boxes from ThreadUp. So like the
Oh,
like 200-pound boxes or like what are they called? The
like the rescue boxes, like
oh yes, yeah, the
men's
rescue
denim
boxes.
box or
No,
shoes
we
box.
can't.
Gotcha.
DIY boxes can't purchase those. Like the box section is literally not available to us. I click on it and it redirects me to another spot on ThreadUp.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So
Yeah, that's okay. You're not really missing out.
no, but I think from my perspective, I've just been trying to diversify where I've been getting inventory because things are still closed here in Toronto.
Yeah.
And so I haven't been able to thrift since November.
Oh wow, yeah.
So I've just been looking at things. I have purchased a couple of items from ThreadUp, but when you add on the US dollar, when you add on customs and taxes and like any import fees, delivery, like
Yeah.
it ends up being a lot more money than you hope.
You know what though? So me listening to you say that, like in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, she's looking at the places that I would source at, like the B&Gs of the world or, USA based wholesales. But I also, and maybe you've thought about this, but I'll just throw it out there. It's kind of also an opportunity for you to be the person that finds that one, we'll call it the honey hole, the gold mine, for you to be able to get your items directly. I know you do this part time as well, so it just sometimes depends on like how much effort you genuinely just want to put into it.
Yeah.
Um, and so maybe it's worth looking at partnerships with stores. Can you get cozy with the? Well, you said stores are closed, but
Yeah, it's been an interesting time, but I agree.
yeah,
I think it forces you to get creative. Um, but as a part-time reseller, you know that your time related to reselling is limited. And then your time, like there's so many tasks that fall under that umbrella. And then when you add social media and YouTube and all those other things, you're like, my pie is very full. Like the pie of
yeah,
my life is like very full.
right.
Yeah.
It's a
Let's
very
talk
full pie.
about it is it's a delicious pie, but it's full. Is that dirty? I don't know.
It
So
could be apple pie. American Pie.
Cut that. Okay, so you are also a part-time reseller, and I know that that has evolved for you over the last year just based on your own personal circumstances. And
Yeah.
I've also heard you say that you never want to do this full time. And so I would love to just hear how you manage reselling part-time when you do have a full-time job, and just share a little bit about how that's evolved and ebbed and flow for you this year.
Yeah. So my initial thought process behind reselling and how I got started as an adult, in LA when that was like heavy was I honestly did it to help assist with a student loan. I mean, yeah, it was fun. It was something to do, but also like I had a loan that I needed to handle. So I was like, okay, let me do this and let me get to this amount of profit in a month, but then I would exceed it. And I'm thankful that my circumstances of being in LA have given me the opportunity to have access to literally every type of item, every
Mm-hmm.
brand, every price point, new with tags, like, that worked in my favor.
Yes.
But at the same time, I would, and this is where I'll be like transparent, I would look at people on the internet for people I followed at the time, and I was like, okay, they're doing it full time. Could I do that? And living in the center of LA, knowing rent is very expensive, and knowing that you need a certain amount of space to be able to function and
Mm-hmm.
like also like be mentally okay in your space. Like, I don't think people recognize that your mental health also depends on your living circumstances.
Totally.
Like, if there's too much stuff or you don't have enough space, which was in my case, my circumstance, I was feeling overwhelmed and I was like, I can't grow beyond this. Um, to go back to just living in LA, it's very expensive. Things have slightly changed from the pandemic, like because a lot of people have left the city, myself included. But the thought of knowing my expenses, my apartment, my car, and then all the other things in life, and knowing how much I would need to profit, not gross sales, but profit sales make,
Yeah.
is probably what some people make in 3 months doing it full time somewhere else. And that is scary. And that is not something I was prepared for. And if you're ever thinking about going full time, I think one of the common threads that people will tell you who have done that are you need to have at least 6 months to a year, if not more, of funds to be able to pay for your life just in case things do not pick up. And
Totally.
sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
um and so that was the reality for me, and I was like, I don't want to work that hard. Like, this is I'm gonna have to work so I'm gonna have to work every single second of my life to maybe get my money and scrape by. And like, then what am I doing it for if I can't like go live the life? Because that is also a
Mhm.
downside that I do like to talk about. Reselling is something that never ends. So if you are someone who has to generate high amounts of dollars and you're one person, like, do you want to work that hard? And, you know, it is not a hard job, but it is hard to commit, to motivate yourself, to be consistent. And
Mhm.
that's just not something I wanted to do. And ultimately, I don't want to be doing that. Um, as I said earlier, I am a career person and I've done very well and I have a very colorful, energetic past. And that's taken me a lot of places that I never thought I would go and afforded me a lifestyle that I have come to be my standard, my day to day. Um, Flash forward to present day, I lost my job twice in 2020. I got very depressed. I tried to go full time with reselling, not exactly the best timing with the pandemic happening. And ultimately, I ended up moving home in December just to be able to regroup and not kind of bleed money. It's not that I was accruing debt, I was just like bleeding money with no set kind of goal or end point in sight. So I moved home. And that's actually probably the first time I've said that statement out loud since it's happened, but I'm not ashamed of it. And
Mhm.
I don't love the location of where I am. Like, I will not be here forever, which saddens my mom. But on the flip side, I love the amount of time I have with my mom and my family, my very small family. I've never been home this much since high school. I was a very active person, still, I mean, within reason, still am. And so, my dreams and goals are much bigger than the area that I'm in. And um, yeah, that was a lot. Sorry, but
Yeah.
it's a
No,
mouthful of a story. So
yeah. Oh no, thank you for sharing. And I think while it sounds like being home, and for those who don't know, it's home upstate New York. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Um, it sounds like being home, it's not where you see yourself for the long term, but there are these benefits to it, right? And being
yeah,
able to spend that time with your family like that, you can't get that back. You can't like do that in the future. And I think for a lot of people, they think about spending time with family and wanting to have that time, but it's often looking backwards on time you might have spent. So how
yeah,
special that you actually get to do it right now.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's really lovely. Yeah.
I also want to say with family, like I've always been a person who, like, I think probably since 14 years old, I've wanted to leave the area that I grew up from. My family has always known I've got big dreams, big personality. I am not meant to be living here full time.
Mhm.
And I've had nothing but support from my family, especially my mom. But something that I realized when I was recognizing that I love being close to home and having this closer relationship, like physically closer relationship, was I don't know when this will happen ever again,
Mhm.
because when the world kind of gets back on its feet in more traditional ways, I know I won't be here this much, and
Yeah.
it'll go back to the major holiday visits.
Mhm.
Hopefully, with mom being able to come out to wherever I am, but
Yeah.
um, it is nice to take advantage of this because, like you were saying, when it'll happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like thinking of 14-year-old you with your big dreams and your Louis Vuitton wallet and your cell phone and just like being like, hello world. Like,
And you know what? You know what? As a 31-year-old guy, I've got my fancy phone and I've got a untouched Louis Vuitton real limited edition wallet upstairs in my closet. So, things are, beautiful.
leveled up, leveled up. I love it. So what do you love about reselling? What's your favorite part?
Hmm. I think, well, the act of or the process of is really what I enjoy, like the thrill of the hunt.
Mhm.
I also love shipping. For me,
Oh,
it's like
interesting.
I think it's like I get to fold something, I get to fold it up, I get to pack it
Mhm.
up, and I have uh, what's the term? I have a deep appreciation for the mail. Long story, we won't get into it, but like mail is
I can,
important to me.
I am the same. I love
Um,
mail.
the reason behind it for me is actually like quite sad and like a story for a therapy day, but ultimately I like to provide joy and like my label printer's right here, but I get to package something up and seal it and then put my thank you sticker on it and be like, you know what? Here, oh my God, Ashley's gonna be so excited when she gets this. Like, that is exciting to me. The things that I don't like are
Great. That
the
was going to be the next question. I love that you're jumping right ahead.
yeah,
Go for it.
the things that I don't like are the having to pay for it. I wish it was always free.
Hmm. Hmm.
um, I don't like that you have to like genuinely give some effort to taking photos. I love taking photos. I have photography background, but sometimes, if you don't have like the perfect circumstances, you feel like discouraged or can feel like, I don't even know if this is going to look good. You do your best ultimately, but I think sometimes you can sometimes feel like you're never going to be like doing good enough. I think this is applicable to any career, and
Yeah.
social media impacts this thought process. But
Hmm.
it's like, oh my God, they have beautiful photos. Like, who wants to buy from me? Like, I don't have a beautiful photo, but I have a pretty good photo. But I hate that becomes something that I am battling in my head.
I hear that. And I really think that social media and YouTube and being a part of the reseller community can amplify that in some ways because
Oh yeah.
we are hanging out with the best of the best. and like people who really see this as their craft, whether they're doing it part-time or full-time or whatever.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you're ever just feeling bad and you're just like, ooh, will my photos ever be that good? Just go into Poshmark, open up the sold listings, and just scroll a bit. Like, just do a scroll,
Yeah.
you know, because not everyone is taking magnificent photos and things are
Yeah.
still selling. Not everyone is writing descriptions with keywords and like all of the things and it's still selling. Like, you know, you go into
Yeah.
Poshmark and you're like, that description says dress and they
Yeah.
said they've never worn it and someone bought it for $50. So like, you're doing great.
Yeah. I try not to be hard on myself, but when I have a little more time these days, and I'm just like, you know what, this is gonna be good enough, and some, you know, people buy it. So
Yeah, I think done is better than perfect.
yeah, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, getting
Mhm.
started on things is like another therapy day.
Yeah. I'll be here all week. So you love shipping things, you love packaging them, you've got your thermal printer, everything is
Yep.
good. When you think about your reselling style and you think about customer service, what do you think you do differently?
Um, well, I would say I don't think I necessarily do anything different, like within the platform per se. Like I think I can answer this better with the things I don't do.
Okay.
I don't spend too much time communicating with the buyer because ultimately it's like unless they have a like valid question,
Mhm.
um I just it's like again, it's my time, it's our time. And if
Mhm.
they just want to chat or if, you know, they're looking but they didn't buy, some people will throw it into a bundle and I've done this and like say, you know, oh, here's a sale, here's this. But ultimately it's like your time is money and I don't want to waste it when, you know, I can just like nothing has to sell immediately. Like
Yeah.
that would be nice, but like things don't have to sell quickly.
Mhm.
And so for me, I just like if I see something sitting for a while and maybe it hasn't had a lot of likes, something I will do is on a closet clear out day
So
specifically.
you mean like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sometimes Saturday or Sunday?
Correct. And before 2020, they were not this frequent, just putting that out there. They were also not in Canada.
Also true.
You know, but I will specifically and only on a closet clear out day for items that are higher end but have had less traffic. If
Mhm.
someone likes it, I won't send them an offer. I will put it into a bundle and say, hey, today's closet clear out, Poshmark will give you discounted shipping. If I drop it to this price, are you interested? And
Yeah.
really all they say is yes, or yes, thank you so much. It's or no, just browsing. It's one of those three things. And it's short, it's concise. They say yes, I do it, they buy it, boom.
Totally.
um, I would say something not specific to the sale, but the advertising of the item that I do different is I put it out there in the internet in non-traditional ways.
Tell me about that.
As you know, I like to sing about my items.
I do. I have been seeing these reels and I die and I want to like buy everything. So I'm like, yeah, can you just make me a personalized song and I will just yeah, you can sell me like the ugliest t-shirt and I will buy it because you sang me a song about it.
Yes, yes. I've had several requests for concerts. Unfortunately, due to my tour schedule being closed because of COVID, I have to politely decline. But yeah, no, right before, probably like almost a month ago now, I was just like, you know what, let me be funny on TikTok and let me just record myself with this cute little bag that sold from this video. And let me just like talk about it. So I was like, hey guys, it's Blake, PoshBossBlake in the Poshmark app. I've got a coach bag for you today. And I was just singing about it. Posted it. It went like, I won't say viral, but it like did very well. And so I was like, let
Popped
me put
off a
it
little
popped
pop off.
off. And then I put it on Reels and I was like, oh, oh, this is how things work and like this could be like a sales thing. And so I did a very beautiful wicker and leather coach bag. It sold from that video.
Nice.
I actually had a lot of interest, a lot of people even verified on TikTok reaching out. So
Oh,
it was like very cool. And it's something I'm probably going to be doing for my, I would say like more unique items. Just because like if I'm like, this is going to be funny in this moment, but like if it's just like a plain t-shirt, like, hey guys, I've got this box, buy this box today. No one wants a box. But if I've got, oh my God, hey guys, I've got this colorful keyboard today. Like this is something to sell. I could probably sell anything, but
I
I'm
think you
gonna
could.
I'm gonna
QVC Dreams, here for it.
I'm much closer to I'm much closer to Pennsylvania these days. I just need them to call me.
I love it. PoshBossBlake is available.
I'm available. I'm here.
I love that though, because I think you do it in such an authentic way. Like it, you know,
I don't try hard. Like
no, and that's the thing. And that's like, it shows, right? Like, and you know what's going to happen now? People are going to see this and they're going to emulate you, and that's okay. And for some people, it's going to come off as, oh, they emulated Blake. And some it's going to come off as more authentic. But because it's you, like it's very real. And I love the creativity. And I think it's like a really cool way to use social that people maybe aren't thinking about, right?
Yeah.
Have there been any other ways that like being on Instagram or being on YouTube have impacted your reselling business?
Yeah, I've made sales from all of the social platforms,
Nice.
to be honest. Whether someone saw it on an Instagram story, whether I've done an Instagram live, I've done live sales, I've done hauls, and this is something that requires planning. So if anyone's entertaining this, if you do a haul and you show it, something that just genuinely didn't click in my mind until probably halfway through my YouTube career. Have the stuff ready and listed in your closet. So when you say, hey guys, welcome back for today's haul, everything available is in my Poshmark closet, link below, and you make it the first link in your video, and bada bing, you get some sales.
Yeah.
So, just making sure everything is planned accordingly. I would also say, and here's I'm going to drop a free nugget of knowledge. Okay. I usually charge for this, and it's usually a very steep free 99.
Love it. You're getting a bargain here on yes. Ashley Gibson's YouTube
exclusive discounted hot tea for Ashley Gibson listeners. Make sure your name, or like however you reference yourself or your social media, is all connected. So when people ask, where can I find you? I say on every platform, PoshBossBlake. I don't have to say PoshBossBlake on Poshmark and YouTube, and then Blake C on this, and this. No. Every single platform is PoshBossBlake. The only time I will tell you an additional one or another one is when I am steering you to my second YouTube channel, which is newer. And, so just making sure that you have a synergistic rhythm about yourself will help a lot.
I love that tip. It's something I almost subscribe to, given that on all the social, I am Ashley DTL, because I came up with that username in 2009, 2008, and it related to my blog. Because my blog was called Dancing Through Life, so it was Ashley DTL.
Okay, that's cute.
And it stuck. But then on YouTube, I'm just Ashley Gibson, and it's me and an MMA fighter fighting it out for the name, because he is here on the YouTube. And you search Ashley Gibson, and it's like me talking about reselling and like a dude being punched out.
Have they offered to pay you for the name?
No, they have not. But what's also funny is that I figured out, because I'm Ashley Gibson 1 is like my channel name. Gotcha. And I was thinking about this recently, and I was like, why am I not just Ashley Gibson? And then I looked, I have another YouTube channel from before that was focused around me singing, and it was like all musical theater clips, and I made it Ashley Gibson. Yeah, I need to go steal that from myself.
You sure do. And just fun fact for anyone out there, if you like have a name that just by nature ends up being something that a famous person can use, or like, what's a good example? I don't know. Like, I'm just gonna say Jennifer Lopez, just because there are other Jennifer Lopez's in the world.
Yeah.
Like pretend J-Lo wasn't as big as she is now. If you had your Instagram and you got on TikTok and you like were early to be on new platforms, but then the star J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, wanted to also be on it, what they will do sometimes for anyone, it could be a pop star, a MMA fighter, a blog person, they will offer you, especially if it's domains, like,
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh.
ashley.gibson.com,
Mhm.
they will pay you sums of money. Even Twitter handles can garner
Yeah,
people like 20, $50,000
totally.
because you have the unique name. Because if it's Ashley Gibson, people want to find Ashley Gibson, just like this fighter guy. But if you've got it and it's, they're not paying up, guess what? It's yours, honey. It's your name. It's not
Yeah.
like you're stealing anything.
No, no, we have the same name. We have very different identities, but we are the same name. Tell me about your best flip in reselling,
Oh my gosh. I have to think about it because
or one of your best flips.
I will say, because it was one of my first, when I was in LA, like going about this reselling stuff after I had sold the helmet laying pants,
Mhm.
fancy pants,
Love it.
I discovered Goodwills and people going into thrift stores. Okay. And it was before I understood what racks were, like when they bring out the new racks and people run to the racks. Okay. So I literally walk into the store. It was for anyone from Los Angeles or knows California, it was the Beverly and Fairfax store, Goodwill store. I walk in, I literally open the door and there's an announcement. I don't understand it. But then I see a woman with a cart. So she's bringing the cart, not a rack,
Mm.
bringing the
Okay.
cart. And I'm like, okay. And it is full of designer goods, like not Louis Vuitton status, like where you have to question it, but it was Michael Kors, Tory Burch, gorgeous buttery leather things. I was like, oh my God. So the woman with the cart was there. No one was touching anything. So I was like, okay. She let go of the cart and there was a bunch of us. And I was just like, give me this handbag, this wallet. It was a Tory Burch, brand new with tag bag and a Michael Kors red wallet. And if you go back to my early history in my Poshmark closet, my solds, I think I sold it for over 200, maybe $300, and I
Nice.
had paid like 50. And
So good.
for me, it was just like, wow, this world is amazing. Has it ever happened that great before? Again, probably not as much, but
No,
it
no.
was it
But
was like, you're doing it.
yeah, and I'm sure it helped you catch the bugs. You're like, oh, this is amazing.
Yes, a bug that's a deceiving one because I was like, oh, this is Tory Burch, brand new at the tag every day. Great. Not the case, but there's again, thrill of the hunt when you find the good stuff. It makes it all worth it.
I love it. Do
Yeah.
you still buy things on Poshmark and eBay for yourself?
Yes, I think that's actually important
Mhm.
for I mean, for sustainability and just like why not use the
Yes,
platform that you're using.
totally.
I would say I'm a picky shopper. Like I'm weird with my sizing. I've had weird weight issues. So like I'm maybe not the ideal customer, but I will buy accessories. I will buy
Mhm.
shoes. I've had no problem with that. And specifically with Poshmark, I believe it does help the algorithm. If you are buying and you are using your platform, your account to sell
Yes.
and buy, it works in your favor. So I make it a point to at least buy something one every 3 months.
Mhm.
I'm not a huge buyer of clothes or things, but I will buy something at least one every 3 months, if not more, just to
Nice.
keep it
Yeah,
active on the buying side.
totally. Yeah. And I think the more you dive into reselling and see the circular economy and like the sustainability element, like
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, why wouldn't I buy from Poshmark or eBay or Mercari or any of these other platforms? I bought a
Yeah.
pair of shoes today. I was really excited. Seller
Yes.
accepted my offer and I was like, yes.
Do you find, I'm interviewing you now, do you
Cool.
find that when you send an offer to someone, you're like, oh God, I would really like to send it $40 less, but they're going to find out I'm a reseller. So I just do it, like a reasonable amount.
It's yeah, I definitely like I think I second guess myself on my offers. I do try to be fair.
Yeah.
I have a look at what the person is selling it for. I take a look sometimes at comps and like what it's selling it for. I also usually buy when I have Posh credit, and so I'm like,
Same, same.
it's free anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but I will usually send an offer and see how it goes because I'm like, why not? And I think my offers are very reasonable. Like
Yeah. Same.
I'm not I'm not trying to lowball anyone. And then sometimes if they counter, I'm like, oh no, we missed the moment here. This
Yeah.
is not what I wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a pair of APL sneakers for $35.
Ooh, we love it.
Yeah, so
Have
cute.
you been to LA in the past?
Never.
No, oh, never. Okay. So at the Grove, which is this fancy mall in LA, just it's outdoor, it's like cute, it's where things happen. APL put in a store right before the pandemic. I feel so bad because
Oh gosh. Oh.
it was like a store that was long, like a railroad style. So like you would see it and then it would just like go. And they set it up really cool, but when you looked, you saw nothing but like gray stone. And so
Oh.
once you walked in, you realized that there's little cutouts in the wall all the way down. And it was
Wow.
one shoe in every color down in each little cubby hole. And I was like, y'all spent a lot of money on this for no foot traffic in here. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
sad.
It's rough.
But yay for you
Oh,
on APL. Love that. Were they the knit kind?
they're the knit kind. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really cute. They're like cream and they've got black laces. I'm a little concerned about the fit, but the fact that I got them for $35 is, I'm like, if nothing else, I'll flip them if they don't
Right.
fit. And then I know better how they're going to fit me
Make your money
in the
back.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I hope they fit me because I'd just really like to wear them. I found
You know
last
what?
summer I was just wearing like Birkenstocks, and I'm like, no, I can't do that this summer. I need to like have a
Yeah.
pair of running shoes.
Yeah. You will. I'm gonna manifest this for you. Oh dear gods, shoe gods. Ashley's gonna fit her feet.
Thank you. Perfect.
There, it was sung, it's done, they're gonna fit. And if they
Amazing.
don't,
Perfect.
I don't know what to tell you.
That's okay. You have other careers elsewhere. It's fine.
Yes.
Um, and this is why I just adore you and why I'm like,
Thank
and we're friends
you.
now? Great.
Thank you.
So it's been a time.
Yep.
How have you been taking care of yourself?
In 2021?
Yeah, let's go 2021. We don't have to, we can just 2020 erased. 2021.
Okay. 2021. I got on Weight Watchers. I'm taking my health. No, I'm taking charge of my health.
Nice.
And I am watching what I eat. And for some, that might be easy, but for me, it was not. I'm an emotional eater. I don't know that that will ever go away, but I recognize that about myself. And I'm trying to find different ways to cope with that. But also, like, it's really nice to just like have my mom around. I know that sounds so silly, but I
No.
haven't for the past 10 years of my life like this. So it's nice to, when she gets home from work at a reasonable hour, kind of early, honestly, I'm jealous. I'm like, do you want to go for a walk? So we'll go walk the neighborhood. And that's not something I would really get to do. And it's also, there's obviously a lot less people here than Los Angeles. So we don't really need to wear masks. There's no one out in this giant area of land. So that's nice. And you can just take in the crisp air, the snow, the sleet, and then realize you have to shovel tomorrow. And yeah.
Nice. I love
It's good
that.
for the mental health.
Totally. And I think when you're in a colder climate, making yourself go outside, it makes a big difference. Like we are like plants, like we need the sunlight and the fresh air, and it makes such a big difference. And I find that here in Toronto, like if I, am not having a great mental health time, my partner will often just be like, hey, why don't you go for a walk? Like, you know that it makes you feel better. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I will just put on my jacket and boots and hat and scarf and everything.
That's a reason I haven't entertained seriously moving to Seattle. I think that's a beautiful city and a beautiful area, and there's a lot to do. But I am someone who is heavily impacted by my surroundings, weather being one of them. Not seasonal depression. I'm talking like it is just not good for me to be in gloomy, doomy climates.
Yeah.
And that is where I currently live, was at one point on one of the most depressed places in the city, like on a Business Insider article, because it's always cloudy, it's always dreary, UV index of 0. So when it is sunny, I'm like, yo, we are getting all the vitamin D, we are going out.
Yeah. Vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D. Yeah.
Rain on me. Tsunami.
It makes such a huge difference.
Yeah. And it's simple. It's just a walk, like your partner said. Like walking and just being physical for like at least 5 minutes gets
Yeah.
the chemicals in your brain to like start to, like the exercise chemicals,
Mhm.
it starts to help your mood. So if anyone out there is looking for a little like pick me up, go walk for at least 5 minutes, like with intention, like power walk. Promise, your mind will just like become a little less, I don't know, stressed, less like tight. Um, it helps. It helps.
Yeah, it totally, totally does. There's been lots of nuggets throughout our conversation, but I would love to hear if you had any advice, some words of wisdom for someone just getting started out with reselling.
Oh, okay. Okay, bunch of good nuggets. Ready? First one. I know you're probably like, if you're watching this, like, hello, welcome, cute, me and Ashley. Yeah, hey. Um, don't compare yourself to us. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Reselling
Mhm.
can be a very smoke and mirror industry. I say this because people will talk about their sales, people will show pictures of packages, and they might be making that money. They might be having that many sales, and good for them. But there is so many variables as to,
Mhm.
was it profitable? Where did they get the items? Did they have to pay a lot for the items? Like they're like, do they live in a major city? Do they have to outsource? Do they live in Canada
Mhm.
and maybe they have a higher cost of goods because
Mhm.
Canada pricing is absurd and shipping is $55 for 1 ounce. Canada Post is crazy.
12.99, okay? 12.99. 12.99.
That's so much. I can't. That's like
Yeah,
more
I
than the
know.
item. Like what
Yeah,
what is even the point of selling something for under $25 in that circumstance for you?
I know. Someone commented about that recently on my channel, and they're like, I'm confused about this because what if someone wants to buy something for $10 and they're going to pay $12.99 for shipping? And I'm like, yeah, I totally hear that. But hopefully at $10, they're getting a deal on the item. It's an item that they really want. And you know
Yeah,
what? $12.99, it's not awesome, but it is what it is. Like,
right.
either you're going to buy that item for $10 and pay the $12.99 shipping, or you're going to go to the store or go online and purchase the item full price at whatever it was. So,
Valid
like,
point. Valid point.
trust me, I don't love it either, but like,
It is what it is.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so don't compare yourself. That's like number one. I would say number two, if you are thinking about uh go like doing reselling, or maybe you are a reseller and maybe you don't have an Instagram or social media, I would say if you want to do that, great. You absolutely don't need to put your face out there. However, okay, I will always say you can always have a social media account and never put your face out there. That's fine. But like if you want to showcase items, if you want to generate sales,
Mhm.
social media is a social platform, right? Unless you're a famous cat or dog or animal, you need to show your face. You need, like, people need to build a relationship with you. Like Ashley was saying, she saw me after Posh Fest and then saw my Instagram, and like you, I'm not going to speak for your experience, Ashley, but for me, you start to build up not I guess a trust, or like
Mhm.
a certain amount of, oh, I know Leslie is good at this, or oh, I can always count on Ashley for recent fun reels where you're trying on the outfits, which
Oh,
is
thank you.
honestly, keep doing those. I love those.
Thank you.
But like you kind of build that trust. So
Mhm.
if you're thinking about it,
Mhm.
um, think longer term, and just also, although you're thinking longer term, don't think too hard.
Yeah.
Social media these days is doing a lot better, more raw. With the assistance of TikTok, people don't want the fancy glam, the globe trotting, the fancy face tuned pictures, in Paris. Like if you're in Paris and you do that, cool, right? But don't.
But also don't go to Paris right now. Let's just not. Let's
I don't
let's
think I don't
close the
think you
pandemic
can.
down.
I don't
I don't
think you
I hope you
can.
can. No. Yeah, no, I totally agree, Blake. And I think that like no like and trust factor is huge.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
just have fun.
yeah, thought like right. So okay, that's probably my last nugget to wrap it up. Um, Reselling is, if you're doing this just like casually, or even if it's full time, and you ever find yourself getting stressed, or like this is too much, or I am overwhelmed, I'm constantly overwhelmed, I can't seem to get ahead, this is something you can take a step back from. I understand
Mhm.
if you're doing it full time and maybe you're paying your bills with this, that might be a challenge, but just like any career, shifts happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had 3 career shifts in my 10, 11 years of professional work. So, if the time is now and you need to step away, take a break, do it. I am a big proponent of taking breaks, because the American society kind of glamorizes work, 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 unlimited PTO, but I'm not going to take any of it. So
Yeah.
just do what is good for you. It will always be there. It is the one thing probably in this world that is available to do 24/7 every single day of life on every kind of platform. So
Mhm.
just take it in stride. You don't work for it, it works for you.
Dropping the nuggets. I love it. Blake, where can folks find you on the internet?
They can find me everywhere at PoshBossBlake.
I love it. Blake, you are such a gem. Thank you for this interview, and thank you for just the energy and spirit and honesty you bring to the reselling community. I absolutely love it and have learned a ton from you. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate you having me on your YouTube channel, and taking time to interview me, little old me in upstate New York. Well, maybe not so little, but like, get in
You are just fine as you are, my friend. And because you're in upstate New York, we're a little bit closer because I'm just in Toronto.
I know. Oh my gosh, you're like, wait, that's like right next to Buffalo, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh
So
my
close.
God, could you imagine if we could do like a border,
Oh, I got
like, or something like, oh my God, thrifting in different countries.
okay, when it's safe, and if you're still in upstate New York, we need to make it happen. I
Yeah.
don't drive, so I might need to call in some friends, but we'll figure it out.
You don't drive?
No, I don't drive. I've lived in
Well,
Toronto
Toronto's
my whole life.
like a New
Yeah,
York City, so yeah, I forget
yeah.
that. Okay.
No, no car, no license. Anyway, on that happy note, thank you, friends, for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.
Bye.